Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's time for the first look with me and my friend Alisha Hunt, former DraftKings Millionaire Maker winner. Alisha, 6 teams on bye. The best game of the week is a Sunday night game. I don't know. I'm looking at this slate and I love certain things, but nothing's calling out to me yet. What are your first impressions on this slate?
Yuck. Yeah, no, it's nothing exciting. There's a couple that stand out, but there's nothing that's grabbing me like these prior weeks have, for sure.
Yeah. So let's start taking a look. Let's take a look at some of the games. We'll go through them. And of course, if you chime in with your comments, we'll try to answer our questions. This one, Atlanta and Tampa Bay. This one has a big old 37 burger written all over this one, Alisha. I don't want to sit down for that. I'm glad I'm sitting because 37 is getting me excited. Unless it's 37-0, are you even interested in this game at all?
In Tampa Bay and the Falcons. Yeah, I probably not interested in the Falcons side this week, but I'm seeing a lot of upside to Baker if in fact he is feeling 100% or at least is he able to suit up and go. I don't know the extent of his injuries. I'll keep an eye on that, but I ran a couple optimizers and he's showing up as one of the top quarterbacks. So there's got to be some truth to that.
I think there's a lot of truth to that, and I'll tell you why. So you can't run on Atlanta's defense, which you can throw on them, as we've seen. So even Sam Howell threw for 3 touchdowns. So I think people are thinking this is the way to beat Atlanta. Baker has that left-hand contusion, but he still should be able to play. He missed last week, Alisha, between Mike Evans and Trey Palmer. He missed 5 times big plays that if he hits 2 of them this week, he's throwing touchdown passes.
Yeah. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons aren't a horrible defense, but they couldn't keep the Commanders in check really last week, and the Lions were much harder to go against. So hopefully he'll bounce back this week.
All right, the Commanders against the Giants. This is a 39 spot here. Daniel Jones is out. I thought the Giants looked a whole lot better with Tyrod than they did with Daniel Jones. Logan Thomas was a humongous disappointment last week. I mean, 1.2 is ridiculous. I think there's some guys here. I mean, I think there's some people in play. Do you like anybody in this game?
Yeah. And the Logan Thomas, I thought about you because you're like, I'm locking him in on every play. And I thought, oh, Doc's probably hating himself right now. But anyway, I do like Tyrod. I like Darren Waller, regardless of whether Tyrod or Jones plays. Wan'Dale Robinson is getting a lot of targets. He's 3,800. I don't know how he's still that cheap. I mean, it's not like he's blowing it up, but he's still getting a lot of targets on that team. Saquon Barkley, maybe.
What about Brian Robinson? What about Brian Robinson?
Brian Robinson, I do like him a little bit. The only problem I have is they've been giving
Gibson.
Thank you. I was going to say Gibbons, and I'm like, that's not it. They've been giving Gibson a little bit, so I don't know. I kind of like McLaurin and Curtis Samuel also.
The Commanders give up big plays. Tyrod's not afraid to throw the ball deep. Could you take a shot on a Slayton or a Hyatt and try to get lucky on a deep pass, or is that just a waste of $3,800?
No, I think Hyatt's definitely a viable option. He seemed to not mind throwing to him last week, so I could definitely see that going down.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Hyatt's $3,000, right? So, I mean, you're getting him at nothing. And if he makes – the way I look at it, and I don't know if you feel the same way, if he makes one play, one catch, 41 yards and a touchdown, I'm almost at 4X.
Yeah. No, right. And that's how you got to look at it for these milli makers.
All right. Chicago's playing the Raiders, another game under 40 at 37.5. And I want to get to the unders in a second here. Badgett's going to be playing. Josh Jacobs is seeing 27 touches, Alisha, but he had the most empty 27 touches I've seen in my life. Davante Adams has been on a milk carton for the last 2 weeks. Mike Mayer showed up last week. Jacoby Myers showed up last week. DJ Moore got like 4 every time Badgett threw the ball, he threw it right to DJ Moore. What are your thoughts on this?
And I wrote up Badgett yesterday for my headline article. The kid is, when nobody knows really anything about him. His statistics looked good, but he played for a D2 college.
They were great. He was great in D2.
Yeah, absolutely. And my opinion is he came into that game. I thought Fields looked horrible. He was holding on the ball for 20 seconds. I mean, come on, dude, you got to get rid of the ball. Like, what are you doing? And that killed him. And then he went down, and I thought Badgett came in and he had pep in his step. I feel like the team got excited. I feel like they started playing with more enthusiasm. So he may come in and he may give this Bears team, the energy that they need. It seemed like they got real excited with him in there, like somebody fresh. And I wouldn't be surprised if the kid did pretty well. I mean, I might throw him in a couple lineups. I don't know if I'm going to maybe 10% of them. It's not like I'm going to go nuts with them, but why not?
I mean, he's 4,900.
Yeah, I mean,
let me ask you this question. I know this may be sheer insanity. Could I go Badgett and come back with Davante Adams on the other side and just roll with that for this game?
Sure. And hopefully, Davante Adams is going to start seeing some work. I know he's getting a little frustrated, but.
Well, so one of my friends covers the Raiders, and he said the following. They call him Tay. That's Tay, right? His name, Tay. Tay is okay as long as they're winning. But if they're losing and he doesn't get the football, bad. Bad.
Yeah.
So as long as they're winning. All right. DJ Moore, is he in for you?
Yes, but he also screwed me, for lack of a better way to say it, last week. So I'm not going to go nuts with him. I mean, I had him in a lot of lineups last week. He might be just pieces here and there, but yeah, I definitely think he's a viable option.
All right. I want to use some psychology on you here. Last week, we saw a ton of unders. Now, 2 ways to think about it. The referees are calling it, games are going to be under, or maybe people are thinking it's going to be under, so that means games are going to go over this week. Do you think this week is an over week or another under week?
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these games go over, to be honest with you. And actually some of the games that they have projected higher, I think are going to be lower scoring.
So you think the low will be high and the high will be low?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Buffalo, New England, 41, another low scoring game. And we haven't hit anything over 42 yet. Here's what I saw last week with New England. I think New England kind of sucks, right? But they did a masterful job of double covering Adams. Are they going to do a masterful job covering Diggs, which makes Gabe Davis and James Cook slightly better options?
I actually love Gabe Davis. That's who I would definitely target. And he's way cheaper.
Yeah. All right. So can I put a lock button on Gabe Davis? Because I liked him coming into this week. I
think so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Cleveland, Indianapolis. Gardner Minshew was atrocious. PJ Walker looks like he's going to start again. Kareem Hunt didn't practice today. Kind of a mess. Cleveland's defense, though, was so good. I want to get behind Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman, but I feel like I can't do that because they're going to be smothering Gardner Minshew all game long. Is this a game where you just like, there's just nobody I want? How are you approaching it?
Really the only pieces that I like in this game are going to be the running backs on the Cleveland side. And I don't know which one to pick yet, Ford or Hunt. I mean, they both kind of been splitting time. I think Ford's getting a little bit more than Hunt still, but I'm not sure. So I'll have to keep an eye on ownership on that. And I like the Browns defense. I think they're going to absolutely kill Minshew.
Yeah, that's a great start. That may be another lock button for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Detroit, Baltimore, 42.5. Let me tell you something that maybe people are noticing or not. Detroit's run defense is really good. It's really good. So Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, Keaton Mitchell, J.K. Dobbins, anybody who ever played for the Browns, I'm not interested. Okay?
Right.
Does this make Lamar a play? And there's a guy I love this week. Maybe talk me out of him. I love Mark Andrews this week.
Yeah. I personally would stay away from the run game on the Ravens side because, yes, the Lions are great at stopping the run. I think it's going to be a passing game. I love Andrews and I like Zay Flowers. I think those two pieces you can absolutely go with.
What about from the Lions side? There's no Montgomery. Gibbs is still not even close to 100%. Goff doesn't do great on the road, but he did great last week. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta. Do you like any pieces on the Lions side?
At this point, no. Maybe Laporta, but the Ravens are a good defense. They're much better than Tampa. I just think they're going to have a difficult time this week.
All right, let's get to Pittsburgh against the Rams. We'll hit the 4 o'clock games. There's 3 games at 4 o'clock. Pittsburgh has let up chunks of yardage in the run defense. Chunks. Zach Evans from Ole Miss, rookie, $4,000. $4,000. So the question is this: is he a free square or is he bad chalk?
I mean, I hate to say that anybody at $4,000 is bad chalk because they're $4,000. I mean, I think that the wide receiver, the high price wide receivers this week are going to be bad chalk. I like the mid to the lower priced receivers. So no, I go ahead and play them. I personally probably am not going to because I like some of the other running backs, but yeah, I don't see why you can't play them.
All right. So when you say high price receivers, bad chalk, Cooper Kupp, bad chalk?
I mean, Cooper Kupp's great, but he's $9,500.
Right.
I mean,
Stephon Diggs is bad chalk to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Keenan Allen. You like Keenan Allen?
I would play some Keenan Allen. I think I trust him the most out of all of them to maybe break that slate. Yeah.
I like Devontae Adams. You said you didn't like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Do you like Puka at 7,600 or Mike Evans at 71?
I like Mike Evans. I think Puka's I think his price is too high still for what he's given. And it's not his fault. I mean, Stafford's just throwing to Kupp. And, Kupp, he gets the yards. It's just, does he going to get a touchdown? He's only had 1 touchdown in the last 2 games. If he can get more than 1 touchdown and get the same yardage, yeah, he's worth his salary. But there's other players out there that I think, you can get after and can do great. If you've got the salary, by all means play Kupp because he's awesome.
When I looked at the slate, I felt like you that I wanted to be in that $53 to $6,100 range of receiver. That's where I wanted to be, which would allow me to get some running backs so I could avoid Zach Evans. I just want to avoid Zach Evans. I feel like it's not that he's bad, but I don't need 12 points that badly. I think I could find it somewhere else.
Right. I agree.
Because the way I look at it, if Jalen Hyatt makes 1 catch for 40 yards and a touchdown, I'm at the same 12 points. I saved $1,000 and I have 0% owned versus 30.
Now you got your thinking cap on.
I know. I might win $1 million this week. Okay.
Hey.
Do you like anybody on Pittsburgh? Whether it's Freiermuth, Deontay, who should be back, Jaylen Warren, Pickens, or are we staying away?
I might throw a little Pickens in here and there, but that's probably the only piece I like. I don't know if I trust Johnson coming back in his first game. Sometimes that turns out to be not the best advice, but Pickens has done pretty well, and I think he could be a good piece here on this team.
All right, the last 3 games are where I think most of the action are going to be. Arizona against Seattle. This is 44.5. Seattle's at home. I feel like this game could have some fireworks in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to get after Kenneth Walker, but it's tough for me at $7,000. He just doesn't. It's just expensive.
Right.
I like Geno this week. I like Metcalf. You can probably throw Lockett in there. Smith Njigba seems to be getting more action. Yeah, I think it's a great team, and I like their defense too for Seattle. I actually took them last week, and they weren't. I think they had like 6 points or something. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, they had like 4 sacks, I think, on Burrow.
Yeah. The Cardinals. I do like Rondell Moore against the slot position defense for Seattle. They give up the most points to slot receivers, and he did pretty well last week. So I think he might do well. I also like Marquise Brown, but those are really the only 2 pieces I like on the Cardinal side.
And Rondell Moore is very cheap, right? You're looking at 3,500, so that's another play that you could avoid the old Zach Evans play there.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the Cardinals play a lot of zone defense, and I think Lockett is better against zones than Metcalf.
Yeah, and I keep wanting to go to Lockett, and Metcalf always seems to exceed him, and it's starting to piss me off. But yeah, you could even stack both of them with Geno this week, I think.
I think your point about Walker is well taken. If Walker doesn't get 2 touchdowns, right, then he's a 2.5x player, right? So maybe he gets me 100 yards and a touchdown. So maybe, but he doesn't get me the receiving yards. So I'm looking at about 18 points. And if I'm paying 7,000, I feel like I need to get at least 20, at least. And Walker just never gets there. He's not that like Raheem Mostert guy who gets, but I mean, can he get you 2 touchdowns, or you just don't feel that happens?
I'm not willing to take that chance on it this week. I think there's different places to pay that much salary and have a better outcome. All
right. The Chiefs against the Chargers, a 48 spot. This is a game where I think I want every piece of this I can afford. I look at it and I say the following. I believe there will be a Chief. Can't tell you who yet. But so just work with me. It could be Travis Kelce because Taylor Swift will probably be there. B, it could be Pacheco, who seems to have taken his game to another level. C, maybe it's Rashee Rice, who's looking good in the red zone. Or D, the Chargers always let up a big play. Maybe it's Valdez-Scantling catching a big touchdown pass. I don't know where it is. I feel like I need multiple lineups, but I don't play in multiple lineups like that. But I feel like there's going to be 2 of those dudes who go off. You just have to pick the right 2.
Right. So when I said there's games that I thought were not going to go over the total, I think this one's going to go under. And my reasoning is I think, the Chiefs have a pretty decent defense, which may steer me off of Keenan Allen, actually. I might go with Palmer instead of him just because he's been getting targets a lot cheaper. So I don't know and the Chargers just played on Monday, so they're going to come into this thing a little bit more tired or exhausted, I think, than the Chiefs will be. And I just, for some reason, my gut is telling me that this is going to be a low-scoring game.
Well, the Chargers had a bad game on Monday, right? It was a bad loss, and you feel like now you got to go to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And you got to get up for this game. But if they get whacked in the first half, it could just be all over, and now it's a Pacheco second half spot.
Right.
So,
the only piece that I really like in this game at all would be, I guess, Palmer, and then Kelce. I like Kelce, and you don't even need to stack. Mahomes is too expensive. I don't ever really pick him. You got to get 30 plus points in order for him to make sense. And there's so many other quarterbacks out there that are cheaper, but Kelce himself can, if he gets 2-3 touchdowns, I mean, so he's well worth it. Yeah.
So speaking of 2-3 touchdowns, our friend Mike LaRocca said you called Mostert for multiple TDs. Who's this week's multiple TD guy?
Oh, no, you got me on the spot. Let me look at my running backs and see, because nobody really is like, ooh, that's the lock. Who do we got here? Who do we got? I think it's going to be one of the pieces from the Cleveland game. And again, I can't tell you if it's going to be Ford or if it's going to be Hunt or a combination, but I love those two running backs in that game against Indy.
So Hunt's not 100%. What makes you love Ford this week? What are you seeing that I'm not?
Well, Indianapolis run defense sucks.
Okay, you could be seeing that. That's true.
Yeah.
One moment, please. Please hold. Please continue to hold. Let's see something here. Indianapolis's run defense. So I'm getting to running backs. The Colts have let up. I don't see it. I don't know. I'm seeing something different. What are you seeing? I'm seeing that they only let up 3.5 yards per carry. They've let up 7 touchdowns. That's true. That's a big number, right? That's a big number.
Yeah.
But in terms of rushing yards, they're probably like 13th or 14th overall. So, but they have let up a lot of catches out of the backfield. So I can get behind that if you think that Ford is going to catch some passes out of the backfield and do it that way. Is that what you're seeing?
Well, that, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I've been kind of out all day with my mom and stuff, but what is the probability that Watson's going to play?
Very low.
Okay. So I think PJ Walker's going to hand the ball off a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of running in that game. That's where I'm getting. So here's another theory too. If Aaron Jones is back for the Packers, I really like him, and that could be a multiple touchdown guy.
We haven't even gotten there yet. That was my next guy I was going to get to.
Yeah.
Because that's my game here. So let's just get to Denver, Green Bay.
Okay.
Denver's like the Oprah of NFL. You get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, right? So
yeah.
I love Aaron Jones. Luke Musgrave is in play. Christian Watson's in play. Jordan Love may be in play. But the last time we saw Green Bay play, they sucked. They were in Las Vegas. Jordan Love couldn't do anything. We haven't seen Musgrave be good for a few weeks now. What makes us think, and the only thing that I can think of is that Jones is now back and healthy because A.J. Dillon really is bad. Like, is Aaron Jones enough to make this team from blah to really good?
Yes. The short answer is yes. He did very well with Rodgers. He does well when Love is in the game. And actually, I've got Kirk Cousins and I have Love on my fantasy team. And I'm actually going to put Love in over Cousins this week.
Really? Yeah. I mean, look, if you're ever going to do it, this would be the week to do it.
Yep. So, but along with this game, Javonte Williams and McLaughlin too. I mean, they probably will. One of them should get a touchdown. So I like those pieces too. It's just which one. Javonte Williams looked pretty darn good last week.
He did. He actually did.
Yeah.
Can I give you a couple of random guys here? You mentioned Keenan Allen.
Sure.
Are we out on Keenan Allen this week?
Not 100%. No. My first take, I still do like him. It's just, it's one of those games where it's just like, I don't know what to do because, like you said, the Chiefs can come in and they can take all these people. I don't think it's a huge stack. Will I use them as a wide receiver in another game or maybe a flex? Yeah, I see it being a viable option to use Keenan Allen. But I do like Palmer the more that I'm thinking about it.
All right, so let me give you 2 players, and I'll give you different things about them to get your take. Logan Thomas, disappointment. 1.2 was the chalk donkey last week. Does that make him in line for a touchdown this week because nobody wants to play him because he's so radioactive? Nobody wants to touch him. Is that the time to play him?
Yeah, I think you can go right back to him. He's good, and I was shocked at his performance last week.
Okay, here's another guy, Zach Ertz. seems like he's been eclipsed by Trey McBride, but yet Ertz has been around and getting targets. Do we bring him out? He didn't have any targets really until the last drive of the game, where all of a sudden it was garbage time for Zach Ertz. Do we feel like Zach Ertz is? Can he come back to where he was, or do we just bury him and move on?
It's hard to say, but I think they are trying to phase Ertz out and get McBride going. So I think there's other options for tight ends, and you don't need to go and try to force anything that's not, confident.
Okay. All right. So give me a lineup so that we can help people out there. Who's our quarterback?
I got two of them for you. Let's see here. Sorry, my phone's being slow. Come on.
Please hold. Please continue to hold. Thank you for holding.
All right, here. I'm going to go with Geno Smith quarterback one, okay?
Geno, okay, running back.
We've got Geno. We've got Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs. And who?
Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams. All right, who are my receivers?
We've got DK Metcalf.
Yes.
Rondell Moore.
Okay.
George Pickens.
So no Gabe Davis? Where's Gabe Davis? All right, tight end.
Kelsey.
Oh, look at you. Okay. Flex.
I've got Robinson in there, but I just realized that was an early game, so I would probably switch the flex and him with Pickens.
Say that again. So you want Wan'Dale?
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson.
Okay, so we'll go Robinson, and then we'll get our friend Pickens in there, right? Or no?
Yeah. Yep.
And then who's our defense?
We've got the Browns on that one.
Well, we have the Browns. I don't care if they're 88% owned. I'm playing them. So we are saying Geno, Jacobs, Javonte, DK, Rondale, Wan'Dale. I like Rondale and Wan'Dale. That kind of rhymes. If I had two more kids, Alisha, I think I name them Rondale and Wan'Dale Roto.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's true. Kelsey, Pickens, and Cleveland.
Yep. That's that one.
That's an interesting one. Well, I mean, obviously I like Geno, Metcalf, and Moore. I like that. Kelsey is a 2-touchdown guy. But you're buying it. Do you feel like two guys with Wan'Dale and Rondale and Javonte, you need three things to go right for you?
Yes. And if you've noticed who's been winning these Millie Makers, it's been those kind of things. Like you've got some random things that just it's a game of luck. It really is. There's strategy, but a lot of winning the Millie is luck.
Look, I think the best players do not play the Millionaire Maker. No offense. You're a great player. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But I see lineups, and I'm like, I would never have that lineup if you paid me $1 million, nor would any expert in our industry have that crazy lineup, right? Any expert in our industry would have, when you see them in $100, $500, whatever it is, those type, 444, 555, that's where those guys are playing. And you can look at their lineups. And when you look at their lineups, they make total sense because you see where players fall from, not just Tyler Badgett and, Jacoby Myers and throwing them together.
Right. No, I agree with you. And I have a hard time, I'll play other game, or I'll play other contests, and I will throw in a Millie Maker based off of that lineup. It's not like I start there and I go build off other ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
all right.
I can give you another lineup.
Oh yeah. Hold on a second. All right, go ahead. Fire away.
All right. We've got Baker Mayfield.
Hold on. Baker Mayfield. All right. Running back.
Ford.
Oh, your boy Ford. Okay.
Jacobs.
Oh, you're into Josh Jacobs this week. Okay. Wide receiver.
I think his pure volume is going to set him up nicely. Okay, so we've got Keenan Allen.
Okay.
We've got Big Gabe Davis.
Big Gabe.
Chris Godwin.
Ooh, okay. Tight end.
We're gonna take Mayer.
Oh, Mike Mayer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Flex.
And then Pickens in our flex.
You just love me some Pickens here, don't you?
I do. And then the Ravens defense.
Go Cleveland. All right, so
going
Baltimore.
with Ravens.
Well, this team on this optimize, I'm just using the Labs optimizer to go in there.
Yeah.
They have this team higher than the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Projects higher, I think.
Projects higher.
Yeah.
So, look, let's just talk about the elephant in the room for a second.
Mm-hmm.
There are different players in DFS who've been successful.
Yep.
Keenan Allen and Josh Jacobs are target monsters.
Yep.
27 for Jacobs, at least 10 to 12 for Allen targets. You know what you're buying. You know what you're buying with those guys. You're not like, oh, I hope he gets a touchdown. You know where the volume is. Right. Can that lineup be a better cash lineup than it is a Millionaire Maker winning lineup?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Give me the guy. Who's the guy that I'm going to need? Who's the guy that on Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I needed him to win to be my rich friend?
I knew you were going to ask me this, and I don't even know who I want to pick this week.
It's a trick question because I ask you this every week.
I know, and I know you're going to ask me, and I've been sitting here for hours going, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so my answer is going to be either Gabe Davis or Aaron Jones if he's playing.
I couldn't agree more. Those are my two guys this week. I think I will have them in every lineup, and if I lose, I lose. But I feel like I can't not have Aaron Jones against Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just insanity in itself. And they need Aaron Jones so desperately because when he's been out of the lineup, they stink. And I feel like I can't imagine how Belichick doesn't make it so that Stephon Diggs doesn't beat him.
Yep. I agree.
All right. So we better win $1 million. I'll split it with you.
All right. Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. All right. For everybody else out there, you can find Alisha's article on Saturday at drroto.com. And of course, all of our great information over at drroto.com. All right. We want to, and of course, listen up to SiriusXM Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern as we break down all the games. For Alisha, this is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.